Hello, everyone, and welcome to this panel today. My name is Adriana, and I work for Circus. For the Academy, I lead the bookings, the networking, and the PR. So today, we have special guests. We're going to start with some introducing. Please.
Yeah, you know me already. I wasn't supposed to be in this panel, but we had one cancellation, so that's why I just quickly jumped on.
Your name is?
My name is Gernot. I run Circus, the music marketing agency. With the agency together, we do an artist development masterclass together with Toolroom Academy, and I work for a artist management company called Metropole Talent, where we manage artists like Penpot, Shimza, Lenfaki, and so on.
Hi, I'm Pretty Pink, and I'm DJ and producer from Germany. Live in Leipzig right now. It's not so far from Berlin, who is not from here. And yeah, doing melodic techno, progressive house, and yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, my name is Raphael. I'm from Metropole agency as a booking agent, and yeah.
Which artists do you work for?
Global, Annie, Brina Knaus, Nicole Mudaber. Yeah.
Amazing. So let's just get into it. Pretty Pink, first I have a few questions for you. What helped you to get your first gigs and start getting visibility in the very beginning?
So that was a really long time ago. It's 15 years. It has been, and I started off. I mean, I was always like really into technique, so I programmed websites, and I could build my own newsletter. So I did that. I know it was not allowed back then in Germany to send like newsletter out to people you don't know. But then I researched the web. I thought about where do I want to play, and I just sent them a newsletter of myself with a little portfolio, like gig pictures, a mix. And from this, a lot of requests came, and also I had like friends where I performed in a small venue in the Harz Mountains. It's a really small region in the middle of Germany, and also it was because I think I was a female back then, was not so common, and yeah, the people came to the gig. I convinced, and they asked, "Who is this girl? Can we book her?" So it was both things. Convincing on the gig, playing live, and also doing some active pushing via newsletter back in the days.
And how did you balance building your brand with finding basically the performance opportunities?
So at first, it started like really small. I started with vinyl. I started in a little resident club. I put out the newsletter for touring around the East Germany, like touring in Saxony, and it was a small region. And then it grew on, and also an agency found me then. They wrote me. It was an agency from Leipzig. They said, "Oh, we like your sound. Can we present you?" And that made me the chance to concentrate on my music production and do something more for my project, because they took over the bookings, and it was not on my shoulders anymore.
So you had enough time to focus on your brand.
Yes.
And yes. And how did the vision for Pretty Pink came to you?
Oh my God. I mean, I regretted several times, because it was just, making fun with friends, and then, "Oh, you wear pink stuff, so you're pretty in pink." And then I said, "Oh no, we cannot call it like pretty in pink. It's like 3 words, it never works." And it was just a joke in the beginning, because I just wanted to make music, and I didn't even think of the name. So it's not like the projects now, which are really focused on branding. It's like more grown into, and I regret the name a lot of times, but now I'm satisfied and I'm good again with it.
I love your brand and also the name.
Thanks.
And if it's like 100% together. So if you would have to start your career from the very beginning nowadays, what would you do differently?
I'm really satisfied how it went. It took long. It took like 15 years now to go where it is. But I think it was a good growing, and I like it because I wanted to show my music to the people, and I did that. And it's still growing, so it's all organically. I'm really satisfied with that. And I would not change anything. I mean, the only thing I would do, like more, like quicker, I would say, sorry, I lost the word. Quicker would be to make my team bigger, because I always fought for myself. I always did everything alone with my brother, and I never had a big team. And since 1 year, I joined management. I made my team bigger, and I think now even the steps go much faster. So, but I think it's not right to choose a management when you start off from the beginning. I think that is not the good choice to do, because you have to involve yourself, grow with your own like wishes and stuff. So I don't know, it always depends, but I think I would not change anything.
So you always have to have your team. It's super important because there is no self-established artist. But in the beginning, you have to learn by yourself how to do everything.
I mean, I did my career myself, so I would not say it's impossible, but it takes longer. And but it's always like you want it to be. I mean, there's push projects, there's grown projects. Everybody, how they like it.
So you let just things unfold naturally, and in your case, you just had your last. I think last year you had your Tomorrowland gig. Was it last year? 2 years ago. Yes, yes.
I mean, last year I always play at Tomorrowland, but you mean the main stage?
The main stage.
It was 2 years ago.
Yes, amazing, amazing. Okay, thank you. And Rafi, I have a question for you. So, what do you think? When is the right time for a newcomer, or let's say up-and-coming artist, to approach a booking agent?
So I think they really have to create a momentum where like really the promoters have the feeling, I have to book this artist. So I need a feeling that there's a demand on the market, that are promoters really like interested in booking this artist. Because in the end, like my job is, or like in the best way, is not to find the gigs. Like in the first way, I want to filter the gigs. So that's a job of a booking agent. For sure, everything else is coming on top. But yeah, speaking about numbers, I would say for me as an agent, it's like if an artist reach like 800, 900, 1K, like speaking about numbers, booking, like artist fee, then it's getting interested to, to fill the calendar and working with an artist.
And from your point of view, what makes you take someone seriously in their early stages of their career?
And I think nowadays, if somebody is looking at your socials, for example, I want to see in 30 seconds, that's the artist, that's the brand. So I think because nowadays, I mean, there are a lot of newcomers on the market, and it's really difficult also as an artist to find your way, because there are a lot of tools you can use. But yeah, you have to see that as like identity already, and he's like representing, and it's like authentic as well. Yeah,
needs to stand out basically
exactly.
from the whole pool of artists. Okay, and are there any particular signs that tell you someone is ready for representation, like ready to get signed basically in a booking agency?
I would say, as mentioned, like there has to be a demand. I need the feeling that I can fill the calendar with 4, 5, 6, 7 shows per month, and that it is worth to spend my time, because in the beginning it's always an invest, like until he reached like a certain amount of fee. So this means it's my time I'm investing. Also the agency is investing in this artist. So yeah, they have to reach like really the demand of getting represented by an agency. Yeah.
And I'll get on to you the same question, basically, in a point of a manager. So what is the right time for an artist to approach a manager, or when an artist would be relevant for management?
So I've said this in the previous panel as well. There are so many artists out there, and they're all the same. And like, I feel like when I look at their, same as Raphael, you know, I look at their Instagram, and I want to see like a well thought out brand that's like something different. You know, it's not the same. I want to be inspired by the artist. I want to see the artist. Like it's something where it's like, okay, it's nice. This is catchy. I love this. And I think it doesn't make sense to work with a manager until you've figured out your brand and you know what you stand for, what your brand looks like. So I would say like to answer the question, it's like the artist needs to be at a certain level where, as the manager, you can really work with the artist, because if the brand isn't right, the manager can do a lot of things. They can like push down the artist, bookers, and try to place the artist, but then it's like, you know, the artist doesn't stick, you know, it's like you're not getting anywhere even though you're pushing it, and then it just doesn't make sense to sign an artist.
And do you think that an artist or newcomer, let's say an up-and-coming artist, has to have a certain level of knowledge in order to be also relevant for getting into management? Like, for example, how to do social media, how to do all the different stuff around the bookings that also bring you to get gigs, basically.
Yeah, totally. I feel like the artist needs to know the tools of these days, which is social media. It's like, it's impossible for someone else to do social media for an artist properly. It's always the artist that needs to be in front of the camera. They need to work with these things, and also need to have like the knowledge about, you know, how does a music release function? How can I run my marketing campaigns? You don't need to know all the details, but like having a good understanding of how the music industry works. And that's also what I thought with you, and it really helped you in the beginning that you know, you did everything yourself, and now you're at the standpoint you tell something to the management, but you also know how it works. They just kind of do it for you, and you can control them a bit better, versus if you have no idea what's happening and you're out there and it's like people doing things for you, but you don't even know if they're doing them right, or if it's just, you know, doesn't work what they're doing.
I mean, it's like, in the end, the artist needs to, or like you as an artist need to know, you show with your socials, you show your whole profile. It's like a designer presents his work, so you have to do it really good, that if, like, for instance, like one promoter looks at your profile and he says, oh yeah, that's great, we want them, even though they never heard your music before.
Amazing. So I have another question to you, which is, now, what were your breakthrough moments when bookings began to grow?
Did I cut you off now?
No. I said so much already, so.
I'm sorry. So I would say it always grew over the time, but I would say it began for me with beginning productions. I started producing with my brother like 5 years after I started playing, because I had the wish to present my own music. And right now I'm only playing my own songs at the gigs, so I'm not playing any other tracks anymore. So I think this made a difference. The people come for my music, and it always, like, and back then with the first edits, we just started with edits, grabbing vocals from YouTube and put it out there. And with the first edits, there were some viral hits in the scene. It's like 10 years now. But then requests from outside came because residents in Dubai or something played the tracks, and they said, oh, we can book the girl because she has like this track out there. And one problem was in my career that my brother was doing the bookings back then, and we just waited for things to come in, and we didn't have like big agency support, so we couldn't handle all the international requests, and there were a lot. And then luckily there were some agencies reaching out and asking me to help, so we went with them.
So you're saying that production basically is a crucial part of growing with bookings?
For me it was, and back then, but I think right now it's like a little bit shifted. Now production is more like a marketing tool. I try to put out like every 3 weeks new tracks to be on top, to hold the numbers, because you drop down so fast if you don't release. And there's much more. There's, like Raphael said, the Instagram, or like all the socials. You have to look at them, and you have to have the feeling, or you want this artist because it's all great around it. Or YouTube. It's much more to it now.
So it means that so you were playing gigs for 5 years until you started producing, basically, and then when you had your own sound and your own, basically your character, things started to elevate even more.
Yes, and the sound changed over years too, because like I told you, my project has grown. So I started with deep house with German vocals. I had 150 bookings only in Germany. I could play myself to that here. And then, like after releasing the edit, it went viral on the world, so I could go outside, and that helped. But I don't know, it's like always different. so there's girls who do really good performance on YouTube, and it went viral, and then they can tour the world. It's like different kind of ways. I mean, everybody wants a hit, but it's so hard to, there's like no recipe to get a hit, and this could push the career.
And that's what I meant, you know, like you found your special thing that made you different from all the others, and there's no recipe in being different. You try different things, and then at some point you hit something, and it's so different that the outside world really sees you and remembers you, and then your career starts to kick off.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you decide which shows or opportunities to say yes to? Now, yes.
I'm really easy with that. I want to play everything because it's like I have a different kind of view. I mean, I would like to have everybody in the world listen to my music, like, and that you can only reach if you play so much you can. But I know that the management probably would say, okay, Anne, hold back. We have to do only the important things. But at the beginning, I wanted to play everything. So I'm really, now I always like hear to my agent, listen to them, we have to play this, or maybe it fits better in the routing, so we do that. But I would never say no to anything, you know, I'm a yes sayer.
This is great, this is great. And Raphael, I have a question about how would you pitch emerging artists to promoters who aren't familiar with them?
Who aren't, or
who aren't?
Aren't. That's the hardest part in my job, I think.
So I ask you this question.
Because normally, yeah, you hope that the promoters know the artist already. So yeah, in the end, I have to be creative. So this means I have to create a storytelling around it, and in the end, I have to give the promoters the why they should book my artist. Why is this artist fitting to this slot? So, or why does it make sense to have him as an opener? Yeah. So, I think the more personal the request is, instead of just sending all the info and without any personal, yeah. Like also as a promoter, you wish that you're getting reached out and there is a plan already, like a concept from an agent. He knows your festival. He's knowing the slots. So yeah, it's around the storytelling and explanation to the promoters.
Which leads me to my next question. So what kind of assets or achievements help you make a strong case?
I mean, this topic was also is evolving like every year. Like if you look back, like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, you did like a mixtape, you went to the club, you gave it to the local DJ. 10 years ago, it was like, uploading a set on SoundCloud, sending it to some promoters and hope that, that they will like it. 5 years ago, it was like, okay, 10 years ago, like the social media game started. So it was like creating good content behind the DJ, like this whole stuff. Then it's also was getting normal in the last years. Nowadays, it's like, okay, having a certain amount of followers maybe, which is also getting, I think we reached a point where people understood or understand that this is not the most important thing anymore. And I think in the next years, it's getting back to creating a community, like having a constant communication with your fans, because everybody can copy everybody. And that's, I think, the competition for the new artists for the next years, to build a community, to stand out in this like huge amount of new artists popping up, like double every year.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, I have a question to you all about what do you think that is the thing that artists often misunderstand about how bookings actually work?
That the booking agent is just picking up the project and is easily selling the project, and that the booking agent or the manager creates the hype, but it's the other way around.
Exactly.
I mean, I always tell my artists, it's your company, you are the CEO of your own company, and it's your job to yeah, to make the agent having the work. So it's not me, like, as I said in the beginning, it's not me like picking the right venues. For sure, it's part of it, but in the end, they shouldn't give up the responsibility to somebody else because it's your company.
And getting back to having the knowledge as an artist, how the music industry works, that's very important because the best artist, I feel like, is the one, like Raphael says, who's coming to you every day with a new idea and is like saying, let's do this, I want to do that. And the manager or the booking agency just kind of executes this. And, you know, it's like the best artists are the ones that, yeah, kind of like, you know, message you every day what they want to do and have new ideas and push it. And
yeah, I think like the guy said already, work on your unique selling point and think about it maybe a little bit more, how you can make yourself special, higher the profile. And I think the work of an agent is the most hardest work ever in the whole industry, really, because he has everything on his shoulder, or she, and everybody, like I always, don't take me out of this, but we expect so much. We want to play there, we want to play there, we need this. And it's like, it's good to have also a really good relationship with your agent, to be like, I would say a little bit friends, because then they can understand you better, and he or she works better for you if they really like you, and you're not like a number in an agency roster with like 50 guys or girls.
Exactly. So it's a personal connection in the end. This is one of the most important things, the connection to the manager and to the booking agent. I have another question to the whole group. So basically, okay, what makes an artist continue getting booked, not just once, but repeatedly?
I mean, the first step, he has to deliver. So this means he's getting booked because he has like a job to fulfill the expectations of the promoters. So that's the first step, like delivering a good work. And for sure, like in between, keep on working. Like sometimes artists think, okay, they play once at Tomorrowland and then it's a self-runner for the next years. But it's not like this. So they have to also not, I think it's getting also social media-wise a step back. Instead of just doing videos from gigs. That's like maybe 10 years ago it was cool, but nowadays you have to include the promoters, the community to your social media, like having footage from the studio, to include them in your life. And I think that's like another topic besides all those live shows you are playing, yeah.
So the
to keep it in mind high.
The consistency of doing all these things.
Exactly, yeah.
What do you think, Pretty Pink?
I think the same, consistency.
So I want to add to this a real life example, which I think is very interesting. It's like getting rebooked. You as the artist has to make sure that the show is a success, because for the promoter it's kind of like they book the artist, they invest, and they want to make some money. Some of them they're doing it for fun, but most of them they do it because they actually want to make money with it. And this is where with Metropole, the founder or the founder of Metropole, Michi Weicker, he has the vision that, of course, the promoter needs to make sure that the event sells out, but equally the artist needs to make sure that the event sells out nowadays. And that's why with Metropole we follow the vision that the artist gets booked, but you don't just book the artist and nothing happens. Then you book the artist and you book the whole like marketing around it, where we help to push the event, we help to sell tickets, we run ads for the promoter and support them with this thing, because we feel like it's you're equally in the game. It's the promoter and you, and together you need to make sure that the show is a success.
Yes, so getting into the visual identity of this, Pretty Pink, a question about that. How important is the visual identity and content for your live brand?
It got more important in the last few years. Back then we didn't have so big LED walls and stuff and huge lighting systems, but it always grows, and there's like really nice events everybody knows probably, which make it even the greatest. You never can do it as an artist alone, and I mean it's good. I just redid my whole brand identity, and work on now working on a visual concept for the summer. So I think it's more important than ever to have it all in your right CE.
Yes, yes. And Raphael, what or how do you build and scale a long-term booking strategy for gigs, locations, fees?
So me for myself, I would say I'm really structured. So because I mean nowadays we have a lot of tools to compare like different countries, the demand for an artist in different cities. So what I'm doing with my artists once per year is to create a big target list, split it up in countries, regions, different cities. I mark them with a prio 1 to 3. Then I'm sitting together with the artists, with the managements. For sure, they should be realistic. Yeah, so that's the other part. Some artists sometimes forget. And once per month, for example, I'm sitting together with my artist. So I'm collecting like a list of 5, 10, 20 similar artists to mine. I check their resident advisor, check their Instagram, check their tagged profiles and promoters because new promoters are popping up like every month. And it's like compared to 10 years ago, you had like 10 big promoters in one country. Now it's like once per month, there's a new promoter popping up. And you have to be on top of the mind and to always analyze the market. I think that's very important. Yeah.
And what metrics and signals matter the most to promoters?
Again?
What metrics and signals matters more to promoters? So basically, if you work with a promoter, what would you like show as a metric to the promoter of the artist?
In the end, they want to sell tickets. So that's the thing. And I think nowadays, compared also to 10 years ago, promoters or like the financial planning of a promoter is getting tighter and tighter. Like I think there's less and less space to make experiments, to book maybe one artist and to fill it like with some artists you really like because you are a fan of them. So nowadays I think it's more important, unfortunately, to sell tickets and to have visibility with your event. So like have artists who are good in TikTok. So as Kano mentioned, you are not buying or like just booking an artist. You're also booking the whole system behind, like the marketing machinery.
So the whole package, yeah. So to all of you, I have a question about the most common mistake. So what really is the most common mistake artists make when trying to get booked?
Writing emails to the wrong venues, which don't play your sound, maybe. I got that. I have a venue in Leipzig, and I always get like requests. I mean, they're nice, nice emails, but please, guys, check that we do electronic music and not folk music or something like that.
So I think what I noticed in the last years, like I'm a promoter myself, so I'm getting messages, mails like every day from artists who send some info and asking if they can play for your event. And I always tell them, to the artists, like that's not a solution because the promoters nowadays are fully overloaded. Yeah. So the best case what you can do is, I think it's getting more and more important to have like a personal relationships to the promoters, like to new young artists. Go into your city, make party, get in touch with the promoters, hang up with them, like make a personal relationship because everything online, it's exchangeable, and everything on a personal level, that's the most important thing in the next years, I think, for new artists.
Not? What do you think? So
I've nothing to add. Yeah.
Yeah. So networking is one of the most crucial parts. This is the most one of the most important things to do. What you're saying. So, do you have one clear advice for newcomer or up-and-coming artists nowadays on how to get booked in 2025?
I think to have to be able or to be in a position where your marketing is good enough that you already built a small following in this city. I don't think it needs to be many, like maybe 50 people that you can really bring because they're like close fans and that they start to tell their friends about it. And this then really helps and the promoters then notice. And, you know, it's kind of like that you have a buzz going on already and then you have in the city, you know, people.
So a small local fan base where you live in the city. Yes?
Always think about, like, when one person looks at your profiles, that he really needs to think of, oh, this is interesting, or I want to book him or her. So be aware that you look good on Spotify, that you look good on SoundCloud, TikTok, on Instagram. I know that it's a lot, but I think I have so much like young artists which produce great music and come to my label, and then I look at their profiles and they don't even share when they release tracks. And I'm like, guys, how can I help you if you don't promote your own stuff? So I think keeping the profile in mind is really important. Work on your unique selling point.
Yeah, I would say the same, like spend the same time you spend for your music into your brand. Because as she mentioned, like there are a lot of amazing, talented producers, but they are like really bad in marketing and present themselves. And unfortunately, yeah, the time changed. So it's not about the music anymore. It's about being a brand, being your own company. Yeah.
Exactly. Back then, like when I started, it was very, very long time ago. We didn't have social media. It was a completely different world. So we didn't have to do all this stuff. And nowadays, you have to work on your brand, on your artist identity, on a social media, as well as on your music, your production, your DJ skills, to show your case, your DJ skills, to showcase your releases, and to keep pushing. So, okay, I have a wrap up for the whole panel with one sentence for each one of you, please. Finish the sentence. The artists who succeed in getting gigs today are the ones who
are different to all the other artists out there.
Kindly same, work on your selling point.
Spend the same time in creating music than in creating your brand.
Amazing. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to do a small Q&A session. If anyone who have any questions, please raise your hand now.
I can just talk loud, it's okay. Now? Okay, there we go. Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, guys. Hi. We'll chat later. Yes. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here and sharing all of your insights with us. So, Pretty Pink, you had mentioned something about like not saying no to anything, like you wanted to play everything. But I think this can apply to all of you guys for your thoughts on it, as far as like potentially if somebody's offering to book you, but they want you to play a different like subgenre that doesn't align. For instance, if you don't play hard techno, and there's a lot of hard techno right now, and someone's like, hey, can book you, but you don't want to just like jump into a hard techno bucket because that's not where you're going, is that where you would kind of adjust that?
No. I play my music. I said that I only play my stuff, my own productions. I have about 40 to 50 tracks out. I can play like 4 hours only my music, and I never change it. I adjust like how I put it, but I never change like the sound, no. And I honestly, I don't do weddings or birthdays or, I mean, guys, the requests are really sweet and I love them, but I mean, you know, I don't want to be bad at the older people at the birthday parties, you know, with my music.
So there is an element of choosing the right gigs, and it's okay to say no to the things that don't align.
I mean, I talked about my early stages. When I started, I really wanted to present my music, and then it didn't matter if it was like an indoor small mini club with like 100 people or like a big festival. I just wanted to play it all, and I know now as you have like a certain fee amount, you cannot play everything anymore. So I decided together with my agent what makes sense or what fits in the routing. Yeah.
Thank you.
If I can add to this, I think especially for up-and-coming artists, it's so important that you have a very tight brand, and the promoters and the bookers, Raphael, you can confirm, that they really know what you're standing for. And the moment when you start going left and right, you're hurting your brand so much, because then you kind of like, no one really knows what you're about. And I don't know, Raphael, you book artists, you book opening artists. Like, how is it for them? Like, you really need to know what music they're playing, how they fit into the event.
It's a big sometimes it's really a big problem, because I mean, I had it many times. You book an upcoming artist as an opener slot or like the second slot, and I think they also have to, I mean, they still should have their sound, but the promoter is booking like an artist to expect something, and sometimes the ego is sometimes higher, so they think, okay, now it's peak time, or I have to deliver something. But sometimes it's better to calm down, make a nice opening set, open for the headliner. So yeah, that's sometimes I'm not happy sometimes about some openers I had in the past, because they are delivering not the work I'm expecting.
You have another question?
No, that's good.
Thank you, Sarah.
In the back.
Hi. I have a question about what you guys think about the business opportunities outside of live events that are traditional music sets or performances. For example, panels, so an artist speaking at panels, workshops, crossover into the education or the music tech industries. What are the opportunities like there? Is it getting bigger, or is it more rare, one-off, depends on who you know?
What do you mean exactly? Like, is there a goal to reach, or if you're just asking if it's necessary to do?
Not necessary, but if it's an opportunity to be tapped into, or is it not as big or as common or as viable as just traditional gigs?
I think, so you mentioned like doing panels, doing educational stuff on the side. So I think, I know maybe for you it's nice to be on a panel today, because the content is a little bit different from like music and traveling always. So I think for an artist in this sense, it's nice to do a panel occasionally here and there and to share some knowledge.
I mean, I'm a performer, I do music, and for me it's like always like a little bit different, and I'm coming out of my comfort zone to talk. So I never talk on stage, I never take the mic, so it's different, but it's nice that you get invited, that people are interested in your project, and that you guys listening to it. So, and I think now you know my name for today, maybe not tomorrow, but I think it always helps also to grow, to show. I think that was also what I meant with playing every gig, like to be out there, to present yourself. Either way, it always helps to grow.
And you go.
I mean, in the end, it's musicians are more than like a DJ nowadays. They are a company, and it's always nice to have visibility, to be in the market, and I think also to, on a certain point, if you have the wish to educate the people, to give you knowledge to young, upcoming artists, to share your vision of music.
I think so with the panels, I feel like it's like a one-off thing, like you don't do panels every week. Whereas with the educational content, you can do tutorials every week. And I think with this, as an artist, you have to be a little bit careful, because the audience from the people that come to see your show, they're different to the audience that would watch a production tutorial, for example. And if you mix this up too much, then again, your brand becomes something that's not really clear and that's not really sharp. Then it's like you're the DJ, but you're also the one that does, tutorials. So in this case, I would kind of maybe split up the brand. So you have your DJ page and you have your tutorial page.
So a music artist should be mostly doing music artist things, if that makes sense. If they're just doing workshops all the time, they'll be kind of more seen as an educator.
Yeah, I think there's nothing bad to it. I would just split up the brand. Then it's like you on the one side, you're the artist, and on the other side, with like a completely different YouTube channel, with a completely different Instagram page, you're the one that teaches. And this can be cool. And you can have a little bit of, crossover between the content, but not throw everything on one brand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, thanks for the talks, and I would like to ask for your advice on upcoming artists that actually not having, let's say, like English or German or Spanish as the first language, but like artists like us, like from Asians, like we tend to be like really shy from like the public, but it's also one of the things that we embrace our identity, and we also having like some unique sounds in our sets. So what's going to be your advice on like artists like us to, you know, getting gigs and as like an opener or something like that?
So you mean to grow in the European market as an outside artist, like new culture?
Exactly, like to bring like new sounds, new cultures, taste to the scenes.
I mean, in the end, you have to. The most important thing is to create a demand in this market. So in the end, you should have the interest of the promoters, of the brands, of the venues. In the first step, it's really good because you do maybe something what other artists are not doing yet because you are coming from a different region. Yeah, I think sometimes there's this actual artist who was playing this Boiler Room set from Japan. What's the name?
Yosuke.
Exactly.
That's the guy.
So now you see, and it's something refresh, you know. So I think it's a fresh artist. He's coming from Japan, was growing with Boiler Room in Tokyo, I think it was. You see the sets, and it's not like the typical, let's call it TikTok DJ. I think he's real, and I think that's why I think he says Wassermann now, one of the biggest agencies. So I think he has a lot of potential, and I think because he has something new.
And he got a spot to be seen. Like, he found himself a spot to be seen on Boiler Room or something like that. So I know a few like promoters who come from Asia, which do like parties in Dubai or parties around Europe. So maybe it's good to connect with them, like in your kind of region, and see who works out there to join the team as like a resident to be seen at the venues or events they do outside. Maybe this would be a step I would try to do.
And I think it's already good that you know, you come from a different culture and you're different already. Speaking about all these like unique selling points and having a brand that's unique. And in your case, you already have an advantage over, let's say, the average German artist because you look different. You come from a different cultural background. And I think you should totally make use of, you know, these tools and actually embrace being different and have this as part of your brand.
And the most important thing, what I mentioned before, is like instead of sending like demo or like sets to some promoters, try to get any personal touch, any personal relationship. Meet them when they have a party. Try to, I don't know, to meet for a quick coffee. So that's the most important thing. Have the personal connection now.
So, for example, today here, for the guys from Ritter Butzke, we are here in the venue. It's a beautiful club. I don't know which kind of music do you play, but maybe they book you to Berlin.
From house and techno, so yeah.
So good.
Amazing.
Ask around, maybe they're here.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? No? Okay. Thank you very much for your attention to this panel. Thank you.